The Northern Territory Government says it's commissioned a new prison costing almost $500 million because it needs better facilities to run rehabilitation programs. Lawyers and the Territory opposition say it's a giant waste of money, which should instead be spent on tackling problems in Indigenous communities. But the Corrections Service says without a purpose-built facility, it won't be able to reform prisoners and people will keep returning to jail again and again. As Jane Barton reports.
Darwin Correctional Centre was designed in the late 70s for 110 prisoners. Today, Darwin's holding over 650. We don't have those support buildings to focus on training, education, and to get prisoners back out with some level of skill to get back out job ready for the workforce.
The Territory Corrections Service says because Darwin's Berrima Jail is so overcrowded and dilapidated, it can offer rehabilitation to only 20% of its inmates. The new prison to be built at HOLMES will be able to offer 80% of prisoners training, education and recreational programmes, which will give them qualifications, a job and an alternative to reoffending.
But apart from the 1,000-bed prison, which has a number of 4 dedicated main workshops, a dedicated education and vocational training area, and the visiting area, which will accommodate visiting elders, Indigenous space, as well as the chapel for religious visitors.
The government says requiring all prisoners to work, study and train for 8 hours a day will reduce recidivism.
At the moment we've got 10 prisoners working in here. We could accommodate up to 12, but if we had a bigger workshop we could take 40. There's about a 25-person waiting list to come up here.
With the highest recidivism and Indigenous incarceration rates in the country, the Territory Government says the need for new facilities is so great, the prison's $495 million price tag is justified.
48% of the prison population will most likely reoffend within 2 years and return to prison. So we're looking at reducing our numbers of reoffenders in the Territory by 10%.
We have examples where prisoners have been placed into full-time employment before their sentences expired, and most of those guys are still employed. They're still out there working.
Prisoners in the One Mob Different Country dance group are allowed out to perform and work.
I'm really proud of myself and my dancing crew. Not just sitting around in prison, we must go walk around, see country.
The prisoners say getting involved in constructive activities has changed what they want out of life. But their former organiser, a prison officer for 25 years, says prisoners need intensive mentoring for at least a year after they go home, and most don't get it now.
Instead of letting them through the doors and saying, you got your certificate, it's a matter of following up when they go back there to say, what have you got to offer this person coming out? Can we follow through and assist him, or some sort of organisation to work with to keep them going once they get out, and not just say, yep, come back tomorrow or next week.
There's quite an investment in our community corrections area, and there's quite an investment in working with elders and encouraging and employing elders to do more for us, expanding the elders program. We're concentrating on reintegration staff, firstly in the Barkly region, and then we're moving to Katherine and then to East Arnhem.
The Territory opposition says the new prison is a waste of money. It's still considering whether it could break the contract with the new prison's private developers if it wins government.
$500 million to pay for a monument dedicated to the failure of this Labor government to deliver on basic law and order will stand forever as a testament to their failure.
Lawyers say spending $500 million on a new prison won't reduce crime. More rehabilitation could be offered if the existing prison was upgraded.
The prison facility at Berrima could be fixed up. There is ample land out there for it to be expanded accordingly, as is necessary, and that includes demolishing the ancient bits.
Unions representing prison staff disagree.
We'd spend the same amount of money in Berrima and we'll still have exactly the same problems. We could build new blocks in Berrima, but we'd still have a small outdated kitchen, we'd still have third world facilities, we'd still have overcrowding.
But lawyers say the real danger is that the new prison will suck up money which needs to be spent reducing the causes of offending.
Providing rehabilitation in prison is going to make only a very small difference. What we need to see the emphasis on is providing services and rehabilitation programs and things in the community, and particularly in remote communities.
7 or 8 in the goal square.
The government says it's matching spending in the new prison with more investment in Indigenous education, health and housing, and programmes like the Clontarf Football Project, which force young people to train or attend school and stay out of trouble.
We've got to look at that big picture. At the end of the day, we have people in custody. We have to manage those people as best we can, and we have to turn their lives around so that when they re-enter society, they do so with a whole new outlook.
It would be disappointing to think that we're spending more on something we know won't work than we are on the things that we know will work.
Whether the new jail will have the capacity to stop prisoners reoffending or not, the deal is done, the diggers are preparing the site, the Territory is committed to it, and taxpayers will pay for it for 30 years.
And that was Jane Barden with that report.